Hey guys, what is up? Welcome back to the channel. So today I'm going to speak about if you're someone that you're losing weight, okay, you're training hard, you're eating well, you're drinking lots of water, you're getting lots of steps in, and the scale is going down, but for some reason you're not feeling more confident in your clothes. Your body composition is improving. You still don't like the way you look in the mirror and you're carrying too much belly fat. I'm going to explain exactly why. So 4 reasons as to why that might be happening and 6 ways you can actually fix it. For anyone who does not know me, my name is Aidan. I'm a full-time online health and fitness coach, and we specialise helping busy working professionals over the age of 30 drop up to 10 kilos of body fat in as little as 90 days. Reason number 1 is you're a weekend warrior. Like, how are you actually defining stubborn? So for example, you might describe it as stubborn areas of fat, but in reality, it's just a lack of doing the right things consistently. You're eating well Monday to Friday, but then the weekends you go for a takeaway, you go for alcohol, you eat out quite a lot, you stop tracking your calories, and you're essentially making your weekend. In fact, this was something one of our one-on-one clients, Aidan, was doing, that he was quite consistent Monday to Friday, but then the weekends he was socializing too much, he was drinking too much alcohol, and as a result of this, he just gained too much of a belly. Reason number 2 is that you're putting digestive stress in your body and you're feeling bloated by eating the wrong kind of foods. So a lot of clients, when they come and work with us, they ask them what they eat in a typical day. And almost always I can guarantee if someone is feeling bloated, it's because they're probably having too much dairy, too much gluten, okay, too many carbonated beverages like Coke Zero or 7-Up Free. Not saying you can't have them in moderation, but if you overconsume those foods, okay, they can cause excessive fatigue and excessive amounts of bloating. Reason number 3 is that you are losing weight, but unfortunately you're losing muscle and not fat. So you know you're losing muscle and not fat if you essentially look like a smaller and skinnier fat version of yourself, except 10 or 20 pounds lighter. And often the most common cause is that you're in a too much of a calorie deficit, you're not eating enough protein, and you're not lifting any weight. And then reason number 4 is that you're actually doing everything right. You just need to give yourself enough time. So for example, I know myself, okay, whenever I'm cutting weight, which I am at the moment, okay, I will lose weight in my jawline will get jacked. I will lose weight in my lower back, but my belly and my love handles, they're always my 2 stubborn parts. Unfortunately, when it comes to stubborn fat, it's like the last place you lose is the first place you gain it back. So I know when I finished my bodybuilding a few years ago, that stubborn area of fat at the bottom of my belly, it did disappear, but then it was the first place that I gained it back when I went into a calorie surplus. So if you are a weekend warrior, or you're feeling bloated, you've got some digestion issues, if you're losing muscle and not fat, or if you just need to give yourself enough time, these are 6 things you can do to fix it now so you can actually lose weight but also lose belly fat. Okay, so now how to fix it. The first thing is eat more single ingredient whole foods. At Mac Lifestyle Fitness, we follow an 80-20 principle. At least 80% of your calories are coming from single ingredient whole foods. For example, an apple is just an apple, but apple juice, it's not just an apple, it also contains tons of added ingredients. And when you think about it, it's like, I bet you have never eaten 4 apples in a row, but how come you're able to eat 4 slices of pizza or 4 slices of toast in a row? It's because processed foods or hyper-processed foods, they're easier to eat more of, okay? They generally contain more calories and they're not as nutrient dense. So if you get at least 80% of your calories from single ingredient whole foods, that's the place that I would start. Now, there's 2 exceptions to the rule here. I would classify a good quality whey protein and 0% fat-free Greek yogurt as a whole food, even though they do contain added ingredients. Common processed foods that some of our clients consume will be things like maybe protein bars, some of the more processed protein yogurts, breads, pastas, and so on. But as long as you keep those foods in the 20%, not saying you cannot have them, and you get 80% from whole foods, that's a really good way to look, feel, and perform better without following a super restrictive, unbearable diet. Okay, number 2 then is have a plant and a protein at every single meal. This is pillar number 2 for metabolic priming diet. Protein is going to help preserve and build lean muscle, and then fiber or plant and a protein, that's going to be fruit and vegetables. They're really good for your digestion. It's also going to help keep you fuller for longer and aid with your satiety. So generally speaking, I recommend that you have at least 30 grams of fiber per day, and then whatever your body weight is in kilograms, multiply that by 2, and that's going to be your daily protein target. However, one caveat with protein is I'm seeing a lot when I check my food diaries in a one-on-one coaching. Some of our clients don't understand the calorie to protein ratio. So for example, you might have something like ham or sausages, which yes, technically contains protein, but it's also got lots of, we'll say, saturated fats in it too. So really you want something that's going to be a leaner source of protein. That's going to be things like poultry, like chicken and turkey. It's going to be eggs and egg whites. It's going to be lean steak mince. So if you get steak mince in the supermarket, make sure it's got less than 5% fat. It's going to be salmon. It's going to be sardines, it's going to be white fish. I would personally recommend staying away from more processed, higher fat forms of protein. Things like sausages, things like lamb, things like too much red meat. Number 3 is to increase healthy fats, which will reduce inflammation and also aid with your hormones. So foods like salmon, sardines, chia seeds, Brazil nuts, walnuts, avocado, dark chocolate. Consume those on a daily basis, okay? I generally recommend having at least 0.4 to 0.5 grams of fat per kilo of body weight. Okay, number 4, the ultimate goal when you're cutting weight is you want to lose as much weight as possible while maintaining your muscle mass, okay? The best way, or one of the best ways to do that, is to strength train consistently. So you need to be working out consistently. I would say at least 3 times a week will be the sweet spot. Make sure you prioritize progressive overload and train each body part 2 times a week. Now, number 5 might surprise, but that's going to be drink more water, do more cardio, and increase your step count. So I had issues myself with bloating where I felt I was carrying too much belly fat, okay, and I was just retaining and holding on to too much water. And the coach I was working with at the time, he just asked me, okay, how much cardio are you doing? How much water are you drinking? And he got me drinking up to 7.5 litres of water a day. Now, I'm not saying you need to drink that, but I definitely recommend increasing your water intake and also drinking more green tea. So personally speaking, at the moment, I drink anywhere between 4.5 to 6 litres of water a day. To aid with my digestion and my belly bloating, what I will do is I'll go for a 5 or 10 minute walk after every single meal. Really good from a digestive standpoint. And then I'll also try to do some cardio every single day, or at least 4 or 5 times a week. So I'd recommend for you is that drink whatever your body weight is in kilograms, multiply that by 30 to 50. That's going to be the amount of water you want to drink every single day. Drink at least 1 cup of green tea a day. Okay, go for a 5 or 10 minute walk after every single meal and try to do 20 minutes cardio at least 4 times a week. And number 6, you don't like hearing this, but it's just to be patient. Like, if you've been carrying a lot of body fat for the last couple of years, respectfully, you're not going to lose it overnight. So it does take a bit of time, but honestly, just see this as a game, okay? And the goal of this game is to keep on playing. And once you do not quit, once you stay consistent, sooner or later you will get there. And generally speaking, okay, if you want to lose belly fat, and let's just say you're like 20% body fat, you want to go from 20 to 12. That can take anywhere from like 4 to 6 months. So just give yourself enough time, stay consistent with eating mostly single ingredient whole foods, having a plant and a protein in every single meal, okay? Walking more, getting more steps in, eating more healthier fats and lifting weights. And when you do those 5 things consistently, okay, you will start dropping weight that bit faster, but also retaining and holding onto your muscle mass and losing some of the belly fat. And just finally, to wrap the video up, you need to understand that weight loss is just part of the journey. It's just a phase, but it's not the only phase. After weight loss comes retention weight management, and then reversing your metabolism and rebuilding your strength. In fact, one of our clients, Daniel, he was yo-yo dieting for 8 full years before we finally helped him lose the belly fat and keep his weight off long term. If you're on this journey, understand this is the hardest part of the journey, okay? Once you actually get to your ideal body composition, it's way easier to maintain and then build it up from there. And if that is a goal of yours, you want to not only lose weight, but also lose belly fat, learn how to keep it off long term. That's what we essentially offer in a one-to-one coaching. So if you're a career-driven professional looking to lose body fat, okay, looking to build a bit of muscle, okay, and you want to help with more one-to-one customized approach, you can just click the link below to schedule a call with myself where we can go through what your goals are, what your challenges are, what you need help with, and we can see if a one-to-one coaching is a fit for you. All right, but that's all for this week's video. I hope you found it helpful. Please make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on the next one, and we'll catch you then.